Tangerine Cowboy games. Yeah, here we go, buddy.
Yeah, right off the orange.
Right off the orange again, straight into some Cowboy games,
Yeah.
right? First up, we have a interesting pick. We have Red Dead Redemption 2, but not Red Dead
Right.
Redemption 2. We have Red Dead Online. So I don't know if
Oh,
you
okay.
saw this, but Red Dead split up Red Dead Redemption 2 and it's online into two separate games, and you could buy just the online version of the game for like a very cheap price. I think it's like it says it's 50. It says it's like £17 or something like that.
Right. But compared to like the full game, which
Compared
is
the
like
full game is
60?
but there was a deal basically where they said, hey, if you get it when we're releasing it, it will cost like £5, and I was like, well, for £5, I will try Red Dead Redemption Online. I don't know if people know this, but I am a huge GTA Online enjoyer.
I know that. I don't know if viewers know that.
I have like 200 hours in GTA 5, and it's all on online. I never played the single player. I just play.
Not even once.
Played like a couple of times, but not really got past the first couple of missions. I just get bored.
Yeah.
I like GTA. I love like the heist stuff, and I think like the online stuff they do on that game is really, really cool. It's just a shame that a lot of it is to funnel people into shark cards, which is the microtransactions. But like, genuinely, like the worlds they build and the content they put out for the online games is actually really cool. And I said, well, I'm a big fan of Red Dead Redemption. I loved it on the Xbox 360. And I really wanted to play Red Dead Redemption 2, and I said, well, for £5, why don't me and a couple of friends just try out Red Dead Online? So that's what I did. I played it with a couple of friends, and
it does look fantastic at a distance. Like the rocks over that look really good.
So to play this, you have to download the entirety of Red Dead Redemption 2. I guess that's so when after playing this, you go, you know what, this game looks and plays fantastic. Let me buy the whole game, sort of thing. So you just immediately finish that purchase. But like, you have the whole Red Dead Redemption 2 map in the online. Like, and I got this game is so gorgeous. It came out was it 2018, 2019, something like that?
I thought it was 2019, but I can't actually remember.
Red Dead Redemption 2 release date. When did this game come out? 2018. So
2018, okay.
And it's still so fucking gorgeous. Like, I was just saying, like, I think this is what when I was playing this, like, I think there's a clip where it starts raining. I'm like, this is one of the best like weather simulated games I've ever played. Like, I love just riding around in the open west. It is so much fun, sort of thing.
Yeah. You're sightseeing and like taking in the atmosphere and the beauty.
The game itself is actually quite fun. Like, there's some missions similar to GTA Online, but the biggest problem with this is essentially there's just not a lot of content to Red Dead Online compared to GTA Online. GTA Online is insanely popular, not just because of the actual game itself being very fun. It is also the streamers playing like GTA RP and stuff like that make the GTA Online stuff super popular.
Very big. Yeah.
There's
no one RPing for this though.
So I think there's a very small community, but it's nowhere near as popular as the GTA RP community. And I think essentially what's happened is because before I played Red Dead Redemption Online, I thought it was really funny that to essentially unlock items in Red Dead Online, you had to play GTA 5 online. And I was like, it's so funny that to unlock items for that game, you essentially have to play the more popular game. And as a way to try and get people to play it, I was like, this is so, like, interesting sort of thing. It just seems like, because you can see the rain here, obviously the compression and stuff's not going to make it look as good, but just like I was playing 1440p. I think I was playing 60 FPS because I had some technical issues when I had it running higher. Like, I had a bug that was really frustrating me where like my USB devices would just randomly disconnect. And it was like dudung, dudung. They just disconnect me, and it was really, really frustrating. And I found the only way that I could stop that from happening was capping my FPS. So, but even then,
Right.
like
That's
this is
weird.
a heavy game.
Yeah.
It is like a really like in the same way you can crank up GTA 5 still to this day. This game has so much overhead. Like even playing with DLSS on, which the game natively supports, I think it even has FSR 2.0 as
Oh,
well.
okay. Nice.
Um, this game, yeah, this game can really test your graphics card, sort of thing. Which I think is cool when you can crank up settings because this game looks gorgeous, absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous, and I think like the core mechanics of like riding around, skinning pelts, putting them on your horse, going to like trappers and cities and selling them, like having to actually traverse around the world is like a really good idea for the game because it's like it's
Yeah.
cool to give the player a reason to go around and go to different places, and I love the different there's very like those tumbleweed towns, and then there's like a more civilized, like built up town at the another end of the city. And it'll take you can fast travel, but it costs money, and it's at least when I was playing at the beginning, it was quite hard to get some money. I mean, there's two currencies in the game. There's dollars, and then there's gold bars. And gold bars is essentially like um the shark cards equivalent for GTA Online. But
Oh, okay.
I think what happened was with this game that's unfortunate, where the game doesn't have as much content as GTA Online is still, receiving those next gen versions for the PlayStation 5 with and the Xbox Series X with ray tracing. They keep re-releasing GTA 5 over and over again. It's just GTA Online is so popular to a point where um, there's not really that much content in Red Dead Redemption Online now. Like I played through it for my playtime. Played through it for 14 hours, and I feel like I've played through most of what the, the story missions have to offer, really. There's not really much more than just riding around the world and sort of doing dynamic content, I would say. Just pelting animals, selling meat, and
Yeah.
I love
The
playing with my friends, and I love playing through the missions with my friends. Like, there's a mission where you put on like a bunch of pots and pan armor, and you get like a Gatling gun, and you go storm like a Wild West fort. And I was like, oh, this shit is really, really fucking cool. I really, really enjoyed that sort of stuff. But
hmm.
there's just not enough of it. Like, it just
You just need more big quests and missions to complete.
nobody wanted to buy gold bars, so they didn't put more content into Red Dead Redemption Online. It's such a huge shame because the whole time I was playing Red Dead Redemption Online, I was like, I love this mechanic of just riding around on my horse and skinning stuff and um, going around this really cool immersive world. The whole time I was playing, I was like, man, I wish I was playing the single player Red Dead Redemption 2 with
Yeah.
the actual story and missions and stuff to do, sort of stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
think I think playing Red Dead Redemption Online just made me want to play Red Dead Redemption 2 even more, and that may be an unintended slash intended side effect where they make you download the entire game. But I think they genuinely were trying to make a GTA Online successor in the newer, more powerful engine. It just wasn't as popular for whatever reason. They didn't put enough effort into the online. They didn't, keep pumping content. They just, people. It wasn't the RP community like the online has. There wasn't,
Yeah.
the huge play online. I think more people like I think the mix of people who've played GTA 5 single player and have played the online, there's probably more, at least for me, it's probably more swayed toward online. Where I think with Red Dead, I would say people play that more as a single player game, more for the
Yeah.
story, and I think it's a more of a personal world. It feels like almost in a
But
way.
but if there's people who are playing online and not recommending it because there isn't that much content, then it's a kind of like a chicken and egg problem, isn't there? It's like there's no
Yeah, I
point
mean
playing till they do more stuff.
there was a big like protest on social media where it was like save Red Dead Redemption 2. They were trying to get Rockstar to add more content to it, and I think
Yeah.
it's essentially on like a sort of a maintenance mode now where they're not really doing any big updates for the game. There's been a couple of Twitch Prime things, but not really like anything to level where GTA 5 is still receiving like big heists and content updates to this day. Um which is a shame. Like I like playing GTA Online. I like playing the new heists. I like the new cars and stuff like that they add. It's really cool. I just wish they gave the same amount of effort to this game, but obviously they can't because one's making them a ton of money and the other one's not, and that's a capitalism, fellas.
Yeah, I just feel like if they put more content in, or like had a, I don't know. I just feel like if they had like a heist equivalent drop.
Mm.
This is still bank heist in the Wild West, right?
Yeah, I never played the single players. I don't really know how it
Yeah,
works,
I don't
but
know either.
I think the whole
Or like a
idea of like
bandit.
I love the idea of you going through these catalogs and seeing all these old art style and picking out
Oh
gun
yeah, it's
oil
very
to
good.
oil your weapons. You buy horses. Oh, you so it's very different. The vehicles in GTA you like. Um, you buy a car and then you drive it off, and the car stats are already made for you, sort of thing. But with this game,
Yeah.
you have horses and you build relationships with horses, and the horses become better as you ride them, sort of thing. And there's horses that
Okay.
are better from the base, and there's ones that become better over time as you like. You can like pet them and feed them vegetables and stuff like that. I thought all that stuff's great, but all that stuff exists in the single player, which is the actual complete experience of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like ultimately, there's nothing really in GT Online that you're getting that you can't get in the single player, and that's a real shame because playing a open world game with friends is really fun. You can, case in point, GT Online and Just Cause 2 multiplayer mod. I mean, it can be really, really fun. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
Saints Row the Third multiplayer as well, I believe. So another multiplayer open world game. But yeah, it's a shame that I can't really recommend. I think if you can get it on sale cheaply, I think it's on like 50% off, like £8. I think I paid like £4 or £5 for it. Like at that price, I would recommend it just to essentially as a demo for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
At that point, you may be somebody who's willing to go in and grind like the quest of just going around shooting people or going to a point and doing like a
Is
small like side content mission. But
is maybe some of the problem, like, so if you bought like a Red Dead 2, like just a single player game, you wouldn't have access to online, or would you?
you would, yeah,
You would,
because it
okay.
wasn't a separate thing until like kind of recently, like in the past
Right, right.
year.
Okay.
So everyone had access to Red Dead Redemption 2 as soon as the multiplayer as soon as it launched, I believe, but it just didn't
Okay.
have the breadth of
No one
content
wanted
as
to.
GTA Online because it didn't exist as long as GTA Online. And then
I swear GTA Online wasn't like a massive hit like immediately either. Like it took a lot of content additions before it really took off.
I'd say like I think it really hit its stride with the heist updates. See when
Yeah.
that was. Because I think it got even more popular with the GTRP streamers, which has been semi recently, the past
Oh
couple
yeah,
of
but it was
years.
already
But
popular. It was already popular
GTA
before that,
Online
so
heist update. When was that added? 2015. So yeah, quite a long time.
it's a couple of years after the release of the game then.
Because I think I got it in like 2015 because it came out in 2013 and then it released on PC and then the next generation consoles at the time, the I'm forgetting the name of the Xbox. The Xbox One and the
Yeah.
PS4 it re-released in 2015 as well with like slightly upgraded graphics. It's weird to see that they've like done these really cool updates to the um, PS5 and Xbox Series X versions, so like ray tracing and stuff, but they haven't brought it over to PC. I
Yeah.
wonder what
It's
that's about.
unfortunate.
Whether they just
Is
thought
that maybe
it wasn't worth the time, sort of thing, because
maybe
people on
that's where their
PC
players
are
are?
just essentially they put in the extra work to essentially give people a reason to buy it on that console, but essentially the idea was so that they could release it on that console and they would have the player base funneled into GTA Online for shark card purchases.
Yeah.
Whereas on PC, these people already have the game, and it didn't make sense, obviously. So, Rockstar is a company that I'm very torn about. I love some of their games, but I also understand that their games come from extreme crunch, and they also
Yeah.
come where modders get the shit suit out of them for making VR
Mhm.
mods, making decompilations of code that has no original source code in it. Um, they also monetize heavily the online services in order to almost predatory in the way the shark cards work. I mean, you can genuinely play GT Online without spending any money, and I have, and it's quite easy to make money the other way. But it does prey on vulnerable people when there's the option to spend money on the game to get ahead, sort of
Yes.
thing.
Some people would just feel they have to, even if say, "Oh, but you don't have to." It's like, yeah, but to these people, they feel like they have to, so
But
it's
it's a
not really an
it's a
argument.
soft recommend on Red Dead Redemption Online, and based on Red
Okay.
Dead Redemption Online, it's a hard recommend on Red Dead Redemption 2. So take that as you
You're
will.
right.
Let's move on to the next one. Call of Juarez Gunslinger. This is a really interesting game because I knew like almost nothing about this game going in, other than it was like a cowboy FPS game. This is the Cowboy Tangerine. Um, this game is so fucking good, and they don't make games like this anymore. Holy shit! So, Call of Juarez Gunslinger is essentially like a linear, story-based FPS cowboy game. Um, it is balls to the wall. It is told from the perspective of a cowboy telling a story about his escapades and his stories of being like Billy the Kid and going and shooting up different things. And the format of that story thing is also played upon in the game as well, where you'll essentially be fighting a gang of enemies. And you'll be like, I think there was like 100 of them. And then there'll be like
Yeah.
100 enemies on the screen. You're like, wait, it can't be 100, and it'll change to like 10 or something like that. Or like like the story element is played upon in a very like jokey, like playful way, which I really really enjoyed. Um, Call of Forest Swingers from the developers Techland, from the developers of Dead Island and Dying Light. Did you know they
Oh, it's
made
these
this game?
guys.
Yeah, the amazing like games like Dying Light and Dying Light 2. So um, interesting to see. Like they also made this really fucking awesome game as well, Call of Juarez. Like it ran like pretty flawlessly as well. I haven't played so I went in with like almost no information. Just know people really love this game, and I was like, I want to play a linear FPS game. That is right up my alley. There's not enough cowboy games. I love cowboy games. Um, and yeah, this game is really really cool. Essentially, you just have individual. Each story is like an individual level, and you go in and you shoot people, and then you fill this um, concentration bar, which allows you to go into like this slow motion shooting mode. There's different guns and abilities you can get. There's like shotguns, there's snipers, and as you kill people, you get XP and you get points based on like stylish kills or shooting people in the head gives you more points, and each point gives you like XP for a level. And when you level, you can unlock new abilities, and there's different like tech trees that are set up like revolver patterns, that they're like revolver bullet casing sort of things.
Oh, like yeah.
And then
And the 6 slots.
there's 6 slot shooter slots in with the
Yeah.
gun, yeah. They're set up like that. And essentially, they're their own separate tech trees, and you can spec into however you want to play the game, which I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So the game already
Yeah.
is like linear FPS, great story, very tongue in cheek, very playful. Replayability with secrets. Um, yeah, it's just so right up my alley, and it's already just listening is a hard recommend. I fucking love this game, and I'd never played a Call of Juarez game. I was looking up the previous Call of Juarez games; they're a bit older than this, and I was just looking. Which are the other Call of Juarez games? Maybe I need to buy these. They're on sale right now. Uh, I need to pick these up. Because I've
Yeah,
never
how
played Call of Juarez Bound and Blood and the original Call of Juarez, which looks a lot older than this. This is from, it says 2007.
yeah, well, I said the other ones were quite a lot older, aren't they? And then
I
it's been
think
going on for a while.
this is, I think it's more like 2010, 2011. I'll just look it up quickly. This came out in 2013, so this came out a lot later than the first one. So the first one was like 2007. The interesting thing about this was I don't think I don't know if they were available on Steam the whole time or
Right.
they were on Steam under Ubisoft, because Techland made Call of Juarez under the Ubisoft as a publisher. and it wasn't until I think 2018 that Techland got them back as they now own the rights to
Oh, right.
Call of
Okay,
Juarez.
nice. Yeah.
So, all I'm saying now is they've just finished work on Dying Light 2, an amazing like open world zombie game. Call it a
Yeah.
new Call of Juarez game from Techland. That would be
Call of
really
Fire
fucking
Zombies?
Call of dying Call.
Yeah. Call of Dying.
Yeah, man, this game is a treat. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, it's a very like smart, funny game. It's a very like competent, good shooter. It's very customizable and lets you play in the way you want to play. It's linear, so I don't have to walk around picking up random shit for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it. Um,
It's
yeah.
not like a boring linear game where it's like just boring. It's like no, they actually put. I mean, look, this is what I saw a little bit of like you streaming it back.
Mm.
Oh, is it, you played this like quite a while ago, both these games, right?
Yeah, because we haven't Tangerine in a while, and we've been trying to catch up,
Yeah.
and that was the idea of like the mega Tangerines. Yeah, there's lots of enemy variety. You fight like cowboys, you'll fight like townmen, you'll fight like Indians at some point as well, or Native Americans they're called now. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think they're called by their tribe names normally, but I
right.
guess Umbrella are Native Americans, I suppose. If you don't know.
Uh, this is. I'm trying to think. Was there a cell shaded game before? When did Borderlands come out? Because I felt like,
That's 2011.
yeah. So I think it was
Maybe
popular.
even earlier than that, maybe.
Also, I love the comic book art style. It really blends into that idea of someone retelling a story, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is really
That must
cool.
believe the kid.
So when did Borderlands 1 come out? Borderlands release date 2009. So
Oh,
even earlier than
2009.
that.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
I think like that really made that cell shaded style popular. And I think it is really cool. I think it's like I think it's better to go for an art style rather than just going for straight up realistic graphics sort of thing. A lot of the time,
Yeah.
like I think style can be better than just realism a lot of the time. I know some people, because the idea is it's comic book style, it's being told as like a comic tale almost. Some people really hate I don't know if you've noticed them just by watching, but there's these giant black bars across the screen to make it like more cinematic, more like
Yeah,
a comic book style.
I can get used to that. I don't care either way. It's neither here nor there to me. It doesn't add or like take away to me. So
Yeah. I think it is like, I think people, from wise, like I got recommended or just saw this game and saw positive reviews. And I think one of the reason why people like it compared to the other ones, which I haven't played, I might go back and play them, is that I think this is the one where it got like that definitive art style and it was very funny and it just this sort of game kind of defined the the game, I guess,
yeah,
in
the
its
series.
style and its
Yeah.
gunplay and that sort of stuff, right?
Okay. Yeah. They find. So like are the other ones like known to be like less polished and like more still finding their way?
No, just from looking at like pictures and stuff, it's definitely a very different style
Okay.
than the other games. They're very positively reviewed, and people seem to like them just as shooter games. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I will play the other Call of Juarez games at some point, and I'll tell you if they're as good as Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Because
Any
I can
good or
say
not?
definitely play Call of Juarez Gunslinger because holy shit, I feel like not a lot of people have played this game, and it's fucking sick. It is really cool. I'd highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of linear, you know, single player FPS games. We don't have enough of them these days. They
No.
don't make
Well,
games
linear
like
games
this
in
anymore.
general. We in linear games in general we need more of, I think.
Like, what like new linear FPS games do we have coming out? There's like, there was Doom Eternal,
Yeah.
but who's making these anymore? it's down to the indie community right now to make games like
Yeah,
this, and I, there's so many people who love these games still and will play them, myself included. I think it's a shame that we're not seeing more of these. And all I'm going to say is, Techland, Call of Juarez sequel? Question mark. You got the rights. You're not working on Dying Light 2 anymore, so the ball's in your court, I guess. And yeah,
yeah.
two games I would recommend. Call of Juarez I definitely recommend, and Red Dead Online maybe if you can get it cheap. But yeah, this game is
If you're a big fan of Cowboys, buy some Cowboy games.
yeah.
That's
Well, I
what I'm
mean,
hearing
I
right
think
now.
Call of Juarez, even if you don't like cowboy games, I mean, it's just a
Fair, yeah,
genuinely really good game. So,
fair
yeah.
enough.
That's
Okay.
Tangerine Cowboys. Yeehaw! Catch us next time, partner.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.